And yes, we are back. You are on IBGR.network, and IBGR is a call sign as a radio station, but of course we are much more than a radio station. We are a network of global entrepreneurs coming together to create a shared space for collaboration and your business success. And I'm your host, Jan Roberts, the Inspirational Entrepreneur. This is episode 4 already in season 4. Your why is your GPS to success. Now you can join us and download the show notes as well at the www.ibgr.network. But you can also connect with all the other hosts there. There's more than 40 hosts around the world. So come and join us. And on Facebook, like and share this. But also share the app, share the Facebook page, because there is so much there for everybody and anybody who's thinking. And I know there's more and more people starting to think into entrepreneurship because the job security, wow, if you didn't know before, we certainly know now what's happening. And already as our amazing, he's not just backroom, he's everywhere. Bill Eastman always says, he's in the adverts as well, if you listen to the adverts on the radio, he says as well that, 57% of the world works for or as an entrepreneur. That is a whopping 1.9 billion people already. Now, entrepreneurship we need more and more of, and probably you need to think about whether it's working from home in a network marketing organization or other ways to earning money than relying on a boss or a job to have your income. Because if you hadn't seen it before, now is really something. So share this with other people, because it is so much about people, about finance, about organization, about clients, about executives. There is so much stuff on this IBGR.network. And also we've the same as IBGR, us at Key Leadership Institute have also our strategic partners for Cubimo, which is also an amazing platform and an app as well, where you can learn, you walk the journey from a budding entrepreneur and an entrepreneur and find so much information and people with skills that can help and guide and support you from your starting point to opening your doors and way beyond. Even finding funding is included in there, but there's a whole strategy behind it. But join us, join Cubimo, and just let us help and support you. And but entrepreneurs, people are so scared because they say 80% fail and 80% in the first 5 years, and in the next 5 years another 80% fail. That makes only 4% are still surviving, and it's not worth it. But that's why we do these kind of things, because we want to ensure that more and more people become successful as entrepreneurs. So I hope that makes it plain. But we're going back. We're going forward. Actually, I was just talking a little bit about the question. Do you actually know your why, your passion, and your purpose? Now, the chances that most of you at best have some idea what they really want to do and why they want to do that. Whether it's a career, a business, or any project you are doing because it is your real passion. Now, I'm not saying that you absolutely must follow your passion and create a career or business around it, as you might be most passionate about something, but you're no good at it. And likely never will be any good at it, no matter how much money you throw at it or how much time you invest in it. I'll give you an example. If singing is your passion, and I'm not sure if you've ever seen or watched any of these programs like America or UK Got Talent, or they've got them all around the world, where there's many people passionate about singing. And of course there are some absolutely amazing singers amongst them. But for some, I think their mother should have given them a slap, or at least warned them or us about those voices. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But, I'm not saying don't try or give up altogether, of course. We all love a tryer. But you can always, if you're really no good as a singer, and some people really get offended, but you can always join a local choir or a singing group, or just keep it for the shower. But simply what I'm saying is, if you're passionate about something but you're not really good in it, that of course happens a lot. But make it your hobby. But definitely find out what your passion is, and if you can earn a healthy living from it, go for it. And I hope that makes a bit of sense. But is it just possible that you've been programmed to follow the masses into employment by parents, environment, education system, our friends? See, the closest 5 people your closest 5 people are who you become like. Now, if you are not already similar to them, so maybe some of you need to change friends. I'm just saying. But Do you sometimes lie awake at night thinking there must be more, there must be another way, but you have absolutely no clue what, how, or when? See, most of us have been programmed what to think, not how to think. Our parents told us with the very best of intention what to do, when to do it. They just passed down what they've been taught. Then the education system piled on top of that. They tell us what to do, when to do it, remembering information to regurgitate it at the right times during exams, of course, and then we become employed, because that's what most of us have been trained to do, to get a job. Now, remember, do well in school so you get a good job that will set you up for the rest of your life. Well, it has set many of us up for frustration and so much more. And then your superiors are frustrated with you because you and your fellow employees, because you never do anything you have not been told first what to do. Now, how strange is that? Because we always have to be told what to do, and we always have been, so we've been programmed. Now, when we keep following orders, we do not, and do not think for ourselves. Do not mistake mental activity for thinking. And as George Bernard Shaw said a long time ago, only 2% of people think. 3% think they think, and 95% would rather die than think. And that is something that really is important, because a dear friend and mentor, and he's a master coach, Christian Simpson, who's trained many thousands of coaches, talks into a lot into his training. He also says that we need to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And that is particularly all the stuff we've learned so far. Now, there's a whole scenario on this about how we look at the results, and then we say we cannot do stuff because of the thinking we had in the past, not the thinking we're doing right now or in the future. But that's a whole different lesson, and I'll probably talk into that sometime. But do you ever ask questions? And I'm not asking, can you pass me the salt there, or what time shall we meet at the pub kind of questions. No, real, meaningful questions. And here it comes. Do you ever ask real important questions of yourself? Do you ever go inside of yourself and really discover what makes you tick, what really drives you? You know, it's another reason I also am a profiling consultant, because I also want you to get to know yourself better. Know thyself. It's a famous couple of words we're saying maybe, but know yourself. How many people don't know themselves, and that's why they don't know their why? But you need to go inside to find that. And you only get answers to the questions you ask. And some of you might have to start asking some better kind of questions. So I ask you again, what question, if any, do you ask of yourself? Now, that might be a slightly awkward or painful question for some of you. Could this be part of the reason that you're so frustrated? A big part even. You know, that you just do not know what to do or which direction it should take. Now, I found somewhere that there is 3 kinds of people finding or looking to find direction. Now, the first kind of people is people who don't know what they would like to do. And those people are mostly frustrated. Then you get people who know what they want to do but don't do it. The first part, no, I'm mixing that up as well, see. The first part, if you don't know what you would like to do, these people are confused. They're confused. But if you know what to do and you don't do it, those people are the frustrated. That's the second group. And the third group is people who know what to do and they do it. These are the fulfilled kind of people. Now, would it not make total sense to be or become one of those in the third group, that you will be fulfilled, that you feel fulfilled most of the time? See, there is a distinct difference in following a career path for money, a title or recognition, when in reality you don't necessarily like what you do. And that, by the way, pertains to more than 75% of the workforce today, which is shrinking all the time, which is a real tragedy. In fact, my friend and mentor Les Brown says to one time in a speech that the human race is the only race, the only creatures that have a distinct increase, that have a specific disease, if you like, at a specific time of the week. They have a distinct increase in hospitalization and death at a certain time of the week. On Monday morning, between I think it's 7:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning, there is an increase of 38% of people dying from heart attacks, people having strokes and other stress-related diseases. 38%! Now, some of you definitely shouldn't go to work on a Monday morning, if that's the case, you know. But if that's not absolutely crazy, insane way to live your life, just existing. Just being in the proverbial hamster wheel, then drop off and into the coffin at the end. Possibly wishing you had, and then there's a whole lot of things that you can look back on, but you've got no more time to look forward. Then what? And that is a sad statistic when people are literally dying to go to work because they're unhappy with what they do, when they do it, even for who they're doing it, and sometimes who with. And they're willing to do that for 40 years, which we know is very unlikely. A funeral director might have a career like that, but if they're lucky enough to even live that long, never mind work that long. But the job market is changing faster, and I read somewhere that 50% of the jobs will disappear in the next 5 to 10 years as robotics replace them. Amazon warehouses already run entirely with robotics and robots. A manufacturing plant in China runs in the dark. It's completely automated, so does not require lighting either. Now, the crazy thing is all some of these factories now need is a man and some dogs. The dogs to guard the place, and even they will probably eventually be taken over by automation, and the man to feed the dogs. I think you get the picture that, we need to upskill ourselves, we need to become entrepreneurs, and we need to become successful entrepreneurs, of course. But if that alone was not a reason to take some time out and really discover your real passion, your purpose, then I'm talking to the wrong kind of people today. But if it is, keep following this just now, because we all have a purpose, we all have a destiny. But most people will never fulfill that destiny because the richest place on the earth is not the diamond and gold mines in South Africa, the oil fields in the Middle East, or the stock markets in every major city around the world. No, the richest place is sadly the graveyard, where dreams have died, books have never been written, songs have never been sung, inventions were never created, and businesses were never built. I hope you get that. Now, we are now going to take another break on the radio, and I'll be back very shortly. Don't go away.